Alright, this is my Smithy Granite 1324 IMAX 3-in-1 combo machine. I'm going to replace the motor. I've already replaced the controller and the switch, and that didn't work, so I know that it would be the motor. So I touch on that a little bit later in the video. But before we start, just go ahead and make sure, take the safety precautions and turn off your breaker, unplug the machine from the wall, so that way there's no power while you are messing around with the wiring and the motor and all that stuff. So you won't have to do what I did and drill the access holes. This is just what I did, and I'm just showing you. So it makes it easier, at least for myself, just in case if I ever have to replace the motor again. But this should help. I couldn't find anything, any videos on this, so that's why I'm uploading this. So I hope this helps somebody. Okay, so I finished installing the new motor, or mounting the new motor, I should say. I still gotta connect the wiring, but you see where I made the access holes. Now you can get it in there with the socket, and you have the leveler to move it so it gets right in the middle for easier. But now that I think about it, it would have been easier just to cut along straight all across here, a big giant square, so that way you can just easier to get your hands in there, and then just make a plastic cover and have, you can see the plate here, so I don't know, like a 2-inch hole or whatnot, but just to, and then have 4 sheet metal screw tiny sheet metal screws to keep it from, you don't want the screws too long, but to hold it there, so that way when you're working, none of the shrapnel pieces from the lathe fall into here, into your gears and stuff. So that would work. I think that would work better, because a little bit of hard time to getting your fingers still through here, but it's definitely easier than just using the wrench. But that'll be your choice, whatever you decide to do. That's just my recommendation. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it like that, and then and put it all together and get to work. All right, I hope this helps somebody. Okay, so I'm going to show you real quick. This is the old motor, and so the 2 wires that come in, or 2 cables I should say, are on this is the controller, are on the right hand side of the controller. So it's going to be this one on the right top, and then this one on the bottom. I find it easier to take this plate off. It has two screws here, one here and one there. I already took that one off, but I had to loosen this so that way I can get, I don't want to strip the head on this, so I got to take this off by hand and then make room for my screwdriver to take this off. And then once I take that off, you just go ahead and you can take a picture or write it down, but it's pretty self-explanatory. The U, they're all marked. So U, V, M, the N, and L. Well, actually, it only goes up to M, or W, I should say. W, V, and then U, and then you have the ground. This side over here is for, that goes to the switch, so you don't want to mess with that. But once you take this plate off, you'll be able to access the motherboard, and you'll need a real small, tiny flat to get in there to unloosen the connectors, and then the new ones just go in and you just tighten it. But yeah, it makes it a whole lot easier to take this off. So that's what I recommend. Okay, so to go into detail on how I took these off, I got a needle nose, and I got in here and just slowly turned it to the left until it got loose, and then did the same thing to the bottom one, and then I'll just do the reverse for the install. And so now that I got that loose, I will be able to get my screwdriver in here, take this one off, and then this plate will come off. Not completely, but just move it to the side so I can access that bottom, or the motherboard on the bottom there. Alright, so here's the small screwdriver that I use to unscrew here. They all pull out, and here's a little tip. When you pull the wire, because you have to reuse the plastic connector, don't pull them all out at the same time. Just pull one wire out, and then the second wire just individually, one at a time, and then you'll be able to get it all through there, and vice versa on the install, just one at a time. And don't forget the locking nut. And now it's labeled here on the motherboard. Can't really see with the camera, but you see here they all have labels, some type of ID on there. And what I just did, I ended up removing the LN and ground from the other side, just to take this all off so you can kind of see what better in here. So I'm thinking that may just be easier for you just to remove all that to just access there, because otherwise it's kind of tight. You have those wires coming across here. And then here you'll notice I have some fish paper that didn't come with the original. I just added that, so just to be extra safe with no connections touching each other in the future. If you need to change out the controller, it's going to be pretty much the same process. You take the cover off, take off the plate, and on the left side you'll have the switch cable, and then you have the controller cable. You just remove that. The new controller will come with cabling, but you can just reuse your old if everything is okay. If the cabling is still good and nothing's pinched or shorted out. That makes it a little easier. All you do is just take it off, put the controller in, and you'd have to remove the motor side and just transfer all that to the new controller. And same with the switch. If you're going to change out the switch, the 2 screws, and then you just take you just remove the back and just swap it over with the new switch. So good luck.